Namaskar and welcome to Express News, where we give you news in quick time. Here are the top stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the high-level segment of the 14th Conference of Parties, the COP14 of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification. The Prime Minister called for a global water action agenda. It ties in with the goal of tackling land degradation. Prime Minister announced that India would raise its ambition of the total area that would be restored from its land degradation status. He also said that India will set up a center of excellence in the area of forests to ensure better and advanced use of technology in achieving objectives of restoring land and promoting South-South cooperation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared the recent decision taken by the Modi government 2.0 to put an end to single-use plastic in the coming years. He also shared India's experience of the Swachh Bharat mission that shows the power that mass movements have to achieve what is often considered impossible. Prime Minister shared India's ancient connect with Mother Earth that makes caring for the environment a part of daily life. COP14 President Prakash Javadekar shared India's journey on the climate change and justice front over the last 5 years. He said Prime Minister Modi's commitment to the cause is the driving factor for the nation and has resulted in India emerging as a leader in the field of combating climate change and allied areas. Addressing a press conference at the COP14 UN Convention in Greater Noida, the Union Environment and Forest and Climate Change Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the objective of restoration of land has now been scaled up by 5 million hectares, which is very important. It's an important direction for the world. The Environment Minister also said that the discussions were held throughout the week at the 14th session of the Conference of Parties to the UNCCD, and they were very productive. Leaders at COP14 UN Convention lauded India for taking steps towards environment conservation on various fronts. Deputy Secretary General of the UN, Amina Jain Mohammed, called for working towards long-term solutions to overcome the challenges, and she said that everyone needs to take small steps to achieve the bigger climate goals. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and Grenadines, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and said that the world needs to take responsibility for its action and pessimism is not an option. He appreciated the efforts taken by the government towards achieving the goals set by the UNCCD. The Indian Space Research Organization says that the Vikram lander had a hard landing very close to the planned touchdown site. As per the images sent by the onboard camera of the orbiter, the lander is there in a single piece, not broken into pieces, and ISRO says that we're making all efforts to see whether communication can be re-established with the lander. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah, on a 2-day visit to Assam, met the Governor and the Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, also the State Finance and Health Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma. They were present during this meeting. This is the first visit of the Home Minister to the state after the publication of the final list of the National Register of Citizens in the state. Home Minister also visited the Kamakhya temple. This is the first visit to that shrine after becoming the country's Home Minister. Addressing the NIDA conclave in Guwahati, the Home Minister Amit Shah said that the centre is committed to keeping Article 371, which gives a special status to the Northeast, and he said that every concern regarding citizenship amendment law will be addressed. On the NRC issue, Amit Shah said that no illegal migrant will be allowed in any part of the country, including in Assam and the Northeast, and a foolproof mechanism will be developed to check drug and human trafficking through the international border. While addressing a press conference on 100 days of the Modi government 2.0 in Jaipur, the Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said the ministry was formed under the Jal Jeevan mission and drinking water for all rural households will be provided by 2024. Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Prahlad Joshi also addressed the media on the completion of 100 days of the Modi government 2.0 in Panaji. He highlighted the decision of the government to ensure pension benefits reach the farmers. Restrictions have been lifted from most areas of Kashmir. Barricades have been removed from Lal Chowk and adjoining areas. Security forces are still deployed to maintain law and order. Fundamentals in the Indian economy are strong and there is no panic situation in the country. This is Union Minister Prakash Javadekar saying so. And sometimes a slowdown is a cyclical process and such a patch will not hurt the country's progress rate. India's last year achieved a record FDI, which is more than China, is what he said. The Union Minister Prakash Javadekar also said that domestic economy is on a strong footing and many new industries are coming up because of the good governance model and the rules which have been changed for foreign investment. There will be more and more foreign investment coming in and more domestic demand. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said that intelligent traffic systems do not discriminate between violators of law, whether they are central ministers, chief ministers, bureaucrats or journalists. There should be no fear of hefty challans if someone is abiding by the law. Gadkari said that stringent rules were much needed as people had taken traffic laws very lightly and there was neither fear nor respect for the law. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar today met the Prime Minister of Singapore Lee Hsien Loong in Singapore and both the leaders discussed issues of mutual interest. The Foreign Minister also met his counterpart Vivian Balakrishnan at the 6th Joint Ministerial Commission. Both the leaders reviewed the progress between the two countries. Heavy rains lashed several parts of Madhya Pradesh. Many low-lying areas have been flooded and several places are waterlogged. All government and private schools in Bhopal and Sihor districts of Madhya Pradesh are closed today. Heavy rains have also been reported from Sioni, Mandla and Khandwa regions. The IMD has issued an orange alert, keeping the view of heavy rains in many parts of the state in mind. Heavy rains in Maharashtra's Gadchiroli district since the last 5 days have inundated parts of Bhamragad Tehsil, with 120 villages under it losing contact with the district administration, according to the revenue officials there. And a fashion show was organized in Delhi for the differently abled children to promote inclusivity in society, and the show was titled My India, My Pride. It was organized by a local non-governmental body in collaboration with Fashion Design Council of India. Public sector lender State Bank on Monday announced yet another reduction in lending rates by 10 basis points across tenors. Benchmark indices ended in the green. The BSE Sensex was up 163.68 points. The Sensex ended at 163.68 points higher at 37,145.45. After opening on a negative note, the 30-share index rebounded 460 points from the day's low of 36,784.47 to settle at 163.68 or 0.44% higher at 37,145.45. And the Indian rupee appreciated by 4 paise, that's intraday, to trade at 71.67 against the US dollar. Global oil benchmark Brent crude was trading at 0.80% higher at the USD 62.03 per barrel. So prices of gold on Monday declined by 300 rupees to 39,225 per 10 grams. This is at the bullion market here, in the absence of demand and also stronger rupee, according to HDFC Securities. Silver was also on a weak ground, tumbling 1,400 rupees to 48,500 per kilogram. The Finance Secretary Rajiv Kumar has said that the amalgamation of 10 public sector banks into 4 has nearly ended, and the consolidation process and also it's created almost the right number of banks to cater to the needs of aspirational and new India. And he said that there are about 12 nationalized banks, which is almost the right number of the banks which the country needs. So the government-owned Punjab National Bank has put up for sale nearly a dozen non-performing assets to recover dues of more than 1,234 crore rupees. The lender has invited bids from asset reconstruction companies, non-banking financial companies, banks, financial institutions for 11 NPA accounts. Fair Trade Regulator Competition Commission of India has said that it has cleared the acquisition of equity share capital of Quest Corp of Amazon.com, NV Investment Holding LLC. Quest Corp is in fact a regulatory filing. On July 12, it had said that its board has approved the issuance of over 7.5 lakh equity shares of the company. This is for an aggregate amount of around 51 crore rupees. The CCI has given a nod. This is to the Japan-based Mitsubishi Corporation for increasing stake in TVS Automobile Solutions to 25%. The Fair Trade Regulator in a tweet said that it has approved the shareholding of Mitsubishi Corporation in TVS Automobile Solutions Private Limited from 3.26% to 25%. A report released by the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers has suggested that India's domestic passenger vehicle sales fell for the 10th straight month in August, declining 31.57% to 1,96,524 units from 2,87,178 units a year ago period. So domestic car sales were down 41.09% in August 2018. This is what the report has said. The infrastructure company Larsen & Toubro has bagged a contract from the City and Industrial Development Corporation of Maharashtra Limited. This is to construct 23,432 dwelling units at various locations in Navi Mumbai. And this project is being part of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. It envisages construction of economically weaker sections or low-income group type of dwelling units. The Hinduja Group flagship firm Ashok Leyland, it has announced non-working days at its various manufacturing facilities following weak demand. So the Chennai-based heavy commercial vehicles company has announced 16 days for non-working days for its facility in Ennore. That's 5 days at Honnur unit, also 10 days each in Alwar and Bandhara unit, 18 days in Pantnagar facilities. In the United States, a group of states are expected to announce an investigation into the tech giant Google to investigate whether the tech company has become too big. This investigation is the latest in a series of probes against Google and other big tech companies. Nissan Motors nominating committee will discuss potential successors for Chief Executive Hiroto Saikawa at a meeting after he privately signaled his readiness to resign. Saikawa has denied any intention to resign, however, and he said that he intends to pass the baton to the next generation as soon as possible. The British Airways has said that it has been forced to cancel almost all its flights from the UK airports on the first day of the strike by pilots. The pilots are likely to continue their strike even tomorrow, and they are threatening to strike later in the month as well. The United States hopes to get back to denuclearization talks with North Korea in the coming days. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that negotiations are aimed at dismantling Pyongyang's nuclear and missile programs. He also said that Kim has not violated any commitments he made to Trump and that the U.S. goal remains a verified denuclearized North Korea. The United States and the Taliban both left the door open for fresh talks after President Donald Trump abruptly cancelled a secret summit scheduled earlier. Washington also said that it would not relent in fighting the militants after Trump blamed the scuttling of the unprecedented meeting on the Taliban attack that killed a U.S. soldier. The Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has urged the Taliban to end violence and talk directly to his government after U.S. President Donald Trump announced the cancelling of peace talks with the Taliban. This announcement came after the Taliban claimed responsibility for a Kabul attack last week that killed a U.S. soldier and 11 other people. Armed Turkish military vehicles crossed into Syria and headed southwest, with U.S. counterparts to begin planned joint patrols to establish a safe zone along a border region mainly controlled by the Kurdish forces. On the other hand, in an official statement, Syria said that the patrols are a flagrant violation of its sovereignty and a violation of its territorial integrity. In retaliation, Syria has said that the patrols are a flagrant violation of its sovereignty and a violation of its territorial integrity, and Syria made these comments, in fact, issuing an official statement. Kuwait's ruler Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmad Al Sabah has been admitted to hospital in the United States for medical tests and also postponed a meeting with US President Donald Trump that was planned for this week in Washington. A new date for the meeting has not been decided as yet. The British-flagged oil tanker seized by Iran could be released after the imminent completion of legal proceedings against the tanker. The Iranian media has reported this, and the Iranian Iran, in fact, had seized this British tanker near the Strait of Hormuz for alleged marine violations in July. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson met his Irish counterpart Leo Varadkar in Dublin. The leaders sat down for Brexit talks, but both said a breakthrough was not likely immediately. Johnson also said failing to reach a deal over Brexit would be a failure of statecraft, with Britain and the European Union both responsible for no agreement being reached. The Irish Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, also said in a joint statement that Ireland would be open to alternatives to the backstop, but they must be specific and realistic proposals. Varadkar also said that he would not replace a legal guarantee for the Irish backstop, which is an insurance agreement to prevent the return of border controls between Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic without a specific alternative. Pope Francis arrived in Mauritius today on the final leg of his three-nation African tour. He had started his second trip to sub-Saharan Africa from Mozambique and visited Madagascar before landing in the small island state. Sudan swore in its first cabinet since the removal of former President Omar al-Bashir in April following nationwide protests against his rule, and of course the 18-member cabinet led by Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, which includes 4 women, took the oath at the presidential palace in Khartoum. Saudi Arabia has appointed Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman as its new energy minister, one of the most important positions in the government. He replaced the long-time oil industry veteran Khalid al-Falih. Prince Abdulaziz is the son of the King of Saudi Arabia. Despite huge public outcry, South Korean President Moon Jae-in appointed Cho Kuk as the new justice minister. There has been a huge public outcry over allegations of corruption by this minister. The pro-democracy student activist Joshua Wong has been released from police custody by Hong Kong Police Department. The student activist was detained in connection with breaching bail conditions at Hong Kong International Airport while he was returning from Taiwan. Hong Kong police fired tear gas to disperse protesters in the upmarket Causeway Bay shopping district after demonstrators had rallied at the US consulate calling for help in bringing democracy to the Chinese-ruled city. Over 13,000 people have been arrested so far in Hong Kong in cases related to protests, and Hong Kong police has informed the media about this, and the police said that they have arrested 157 people over the previous 3 days of protests. Hezbollah has claimed the downing of an Israeli drone in southern Lebanon early today. Hezbollah they've said so in a statement, in fact, that its fighters had used appropriate weapons to bring down the drone on the edge of the southern Lebanese town of Ramyah. Police used tear gas on protesters at an event commemorating the victims of the dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet in Chile. And these protesters set up barricades. They threw objects at the police. A number of arrests were made, but no serious injuries were reported. Australia has ordered internet providers to block 8 websites that published content linked to the Christchurch mosque massacre, a first under new censorship rules. The European Union's top diplomat, Federica Mogherini, visited Cuba to help strengthen the member country's economic as well as political ties with the Caribbean island. Mogherini held talks with Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez. With the arrival of Dorian hurricane, the Canadian province of Nova Scotia has since been witnessing very heavy rainfall along with strong winds of about 160 kilometers per hour gripping the state. Although no casualties have been reported, but it's left a large section of people suffering with a power outage. The Canadian Hurricane Centre has already labelled Dorian as a very intense post-tropical cyclone. The typhoon Faxai has struck the east of Tokyo and killed at least 1 person, with record-breaking winds and heavy rains that threatened to burst river banks before heading out to sea. Flights were cancelled and trains also were closed for hours. At least 29 people were killed in 2 attacks in northern Burkina Faso when one vehicle transporting people and goods rode over an this is an improvised explosive device in the Barsalogho area. 17 people were injured when 2 elephants at a Sri Lankan street pageant went on a rampage, and the injured are being treated at the Kalu Bovida Teaching Hospital, the Colombo General Hospital, as well as the Sri Javadekar General Hospital. After a cargo ship overturned near a Georgian port, the U.S. Coast Guard has said that rescuers have been in search for the remaining 4 crew members of the cargo ship. The rescue teams, in fact, they have so far evacuated 20 people from the ship, but have considered it too risky to go further inside this vessel. U.S. authorities have issued search warrants at the Southern Californian company that owned the scuba diving boat that caught fire and killed 34 people last week. Agents with the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, and other agencies searched Truth Aquatics offices in Santa Barbara. China held rehearsals for the upcoming National Day celebrations on 1st of October. As per the Chinese media, nearly 90,000 participants and securities took part in the rehearsal, which includes military parade, mass parade and other celebrations. Australia retained the Ashes after beating England by 185 runs in the final session of the 4th Test at Old Trafford. Josh Hazlewood claimed the winning wicket, trapping Craig Overton LBW, as Australia dismissed England's second innings for 197. Deep into the evening session to take a 2-1 lead in the 5-match series, Steve Smith was awarded Player of the Match. Rafael Nadal won his 19th Grand Slam title after holding off Russia's Daniil Medvedev's exhilarating fight back in one of the greatest US Open finals. Nadal won 7-5, 6-3, 5-7, 4-6, 6-4 against the 5th seed in New York. Elise Mertens and Aryna Sabalenka won their first career Grand Slam title with a hard-fought 7-5, 7-5 win over Ash Barty and Victoria Azarenka in the US Open doubles final on Sunday. Bridget Kosgei from Kenya ran the fastest half marathon ever by a woman, winning the Great North Run in a time of 1 hour, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Her time was 23 seconds quicker than the world record set by the fellow Kenyan Jocelyn Jepotski. She did so in 2017. The World Cup winner Diego Maradona received a homecoming welcome in Argentina as the new coach for the Argentinian side, Gymnasium Esgrima, his first in his homeland since 2010. He resigned from the Mexican club Dorados in June. Charles Leclerc has ended Ferrari's 9-year wait for victory at its home circuit as he held off the Mercedes duo to win the Formula One's Italian Grand Prix on Sunday. Dabang Delhi KC got back to winning ways in style with a convincing 50-34 victory over Tamil Thalaivas in the Pro Kabaddi League match. Naveen Kumar from Delhi added another Super 10 to his name to make it 12 in a row. The Asian champion Amit Shah has seeded second and got a bye into the pre-quarterfinals along with 3 others as the Indian boxers aim for a medal haul of more than a bronze. This is in the Men's World Boxing Championships, which starts Monday. The Committee of Administrators showcaused BCCI Acting Secretary Amitabh Chaudhary for not attending the recent meetings of the International Cricket Council and the Asian Cricket Council. Chaudhary has 7 days to respond to the show cause notice. The former champion Mirabai Chanu will lead a 7-member Indian team in the upcoming Weightlifting World Championship to be held in Pattaya, Thailand. This is from the 18th to the 27th of September, and the squad has 4 women and 3 men lifters. In the most anticipated New York Fashion Week runway events this season, the American designer Tommy Hilfiger unveiled his latest ready-to-wear looks in a collaboration with actress Zendaya at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. Laquan Smith created a shock hoedown for his spring-summer collection show of the New York Fashion Week, and the native New York designer played with prints from various animals, including snakes and cheetahs, also a horse. And Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner was honored with the Hollywood Rising Star Award at the Deauville Film Festival in France. The 23-year-old British actress rose to fame with her role in Sansa Stark in the hit fantasy drama and Jean Grey in the X-Men franchise. The actor Chris Evans, who is known for his roles in superhero flicks, will be seen playing mysterious villain in his upcoming outing, which is called Knives Out. It's directed by Rian Johnson, and this film is slated to hit the theaters on the 27th of November. Nepal has selected Bulbul as its entry for the Oscars feature film category for the 2020 Academy Awards. Vinod Paudel's Bulbul stars Swastima Khadka and Mukun Busal. The film follows the travails of a woman who drives a tempo truck in Kathmandu. Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the DC supervillain, won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, and this film in fact was premiered at the festival, and it's now the highest honored movie of the 76th edition of the oldest film festival in the world. In honor of the 25th anniversary of the Friends series premiere, an impressive pop-up experience debuted in New York City, where fans got a chance to relive a few of the show's most iconic episodes. Amazon Studios' The Astronauts premiered at Toronto International Film Festival amid concerns about the impact of streaming service providers on the traditional theatrical release model. Priyanka Chopra has shared the first poster of her upcoming Hindi film, The Sky is Pink, co-starring Farhan Akhtar, Zaira Wasim and Rohit Saraf. It's directed by Sonali Bose, and this film will be in fact screened at the Toronto International Film Festival on the 13th of this month. Akshay Kumar has announced his next film, Prithvi Raj. On his 52nd birthday, the actor will be seen playing the character of Prithvi Raj Chauhan, and the film in fact will hit the screens in Diwali of 2020. The popular Tamil actor and director Rajshekar has passed away on Sunday. He was popularly known for playing the role of the grandfather in the serial Saravanan, and it was directed by Praveen Bennett. On the occasion of International Literacy Day, many Hindi film celebrities came forward to spread awareness about education. The actor Ajay Devgan, Kajol, also the producer Bhushan Kumar took to Twitter to talk about the importance of literacy. Sushant Singh Rajput and Shraddha Kapoor star. This is a movie that will be proving to be a winner at the box office, and this film in fact managed to bank 35.98 crore rupees in its opening weekend. And the 59th Consumer Electronics Unlimited Fair, it was showcased and it showcased many wearable sensing devices. So it aimed to help physically challenged people and those with trauma. The sensors-equipped clothes can capture the movements of people and transfer the information to a computer in real time. Scientists said that a giant floating raft of pumice is about the size of Manhattan, in fact, may help restore parts of the sailing Great Barrier Reef. The giant pumice is in fact heading towards Australia, and it came from an underwater volcano eruption, is what we are told. 104 Russian runners tested their stamina dashing upstairs all the way to the roof of the tallest building in Yekaterinburg. Now, the athletes gathered from various parts of the country for the annual skyscraper run, hoping to defy last year's record and cover 52 floors of the Vysotsky building in less than 4.43 minutes. And a forest planted inside an Austrian soccer stadium It's open to the public with a message that one day nature might only be enjoyed in a museum like environment. The Basel-based artist Klaus Littmann set up the forest of 300 trees inside the stadium, and this is called a Forest exhibition. Adventure enthusiasts walked on a tightrope between two of the city's tallest skyscrapers. This happened in Moscow, and a group of skywalk masters from Russia, Germany, France and Canada carried out this audacious performance to celebrate 872 years of Moscow's Foundation Day. City authorities in the northern Spanish city of Bilbao recently launched a program of cognitive games in its public parks to combat loneliness whilst stimulating the mind and memory amongst older citizens. That's all we have for you in Express News. Thanks for being with us. Namaskar.